Recording. Here we go. We're back. Oh, this is week 30. I don't know. It seems like it's been a while. I don't know how long it's been. Adam Stone here.
Josh, what up?
Let's get into it.
Hell yeah.
Crack it open. There it is. Unofficially sponsored by Prime Energy Drink.
Yep,
Unless you don't like the podcast, then goodbye, Jake Paul or Logan Paul. Fuck Jake, Logan Paul. I actually love those guys now. I used to hate them, but I love them now. We're going to start off with basketball.
Real heavy.
We're going to start off with basketball because
real heavy.
There's some things going on. That might be an understatement.
Yeah.
Brandon Miller. Where do we start with Brandon Miller? Where do you want to start with Brandon Miller?
Great question.
Because I think people should know the story, right, by now?
If they don't, it's because big sports media is not covering it. Big pharma, big sports media, big.
It was like kind of, right? Kind of.
Yeah, but I legitimately, in the last 3 or 4 days that I was working here, and I had ESPN on the entire time, I was hearing load management, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Carr, and that's pretty much about it.
Yeah.
Nothing about Brandon Miller, nothing about any of that, which is mind-boggling to me. Brandon Miller. Okay, I did
Brandon Miller,
right. And just Nate Oates. Everybody in that program right now is looking really fucking bad. I mean, and it's making the SEC look bad. It's making the NCAA look bad. It's making everybody involved look so bad right now.
Let's just pretend people don't know, because I don't know if they know or not, because
it's not.
23-year-old woman gets shot in Alabama's basketball program's involved. Brandon Miller, who was I'm going to look it up quick because I actually don't know, but he was projected to be a lottery pick. I don't know if he was going to be a top 5 pick, but this guy is the top 13 pick at least in the NBA draft.
Probably considered SEC Player of the Year somewhere in there, if I had to guess. His numbers are real good. I don't really know a whole lot about specific SEC players at the moment.
I just checked in. So CBS Sports, February 14th, Valentine's Day, had Brandon Miller number 4 overall player. They have him going to Charlotte, but that doesn't really matter because that's top 5. He's a top 5 pick, right?
Mm-hmm. Because what? When was the date of the actual incident and everything started unraveling?
The date of the actual
It was probably
incident,
right around that day.
I don't know. So
it was actually beginning of February. It was like February, early February.
The fatal shooting was January 15th.
Oh, okay.
Right, but for those who don't know the story, woman gets shot. Darius Miles, I believe, if I'm reporting this correctly, Darius Miles was arrested and charged with capital murder of this woman.
He was also part of the basketball program.
He was part of the basketball program where
bench player, I think, though.
Brandon Miller and Jaden Bradley were linked to this case now because it was Brandon Miller's gun.
Yes, this was when it first broke.
Right, so we've since gotten that it broke. It could be Brandon Miller's gun. Sorry.
He brought the gun.
He brought the gun. So that's kind of what we know right now. I don't know. There's still a lot of things up in the air. How much right now they have the text message from Darius Miles to Bradley and Miller, bring the gun. This gun gets used.
If I'm not mistaken, it was an accidental shooting of the woman. It was some sort of altercation that happened, and she was accidentally shot, I believe.
Regardless, I don't want to get too much into it because the details are super fuzzy. Like, I'm reading through, and they're like, "This is what we think happens." Regardless, so it comes out last week? Maybe it was last week that Brandon Miller's involved, lottery pick.
Yeah,
involved.
It was within the last 2 weeks for sure.
They let him play.
Yeah, which is
Alabama. Nate Oates is the coach. It's like, no, that's fine. We'll let him play. It's fine. I don't understand how you let him play.
He's almost been as heavily linked to the case as Miles has been linked to it. Like, that's how close these guys are getting linked to this case. I'm not sure about who the other name that you mentioned.
Jaden Bradley was involved. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm actually going to look it up.
I don't think he is super involved, super linked with the whole thing. Miles and Miller were the two that I was hearing in the beginning that were they're pretty sure that these are the two that committed these.
Bradley's a starter at least for Alabama. He started the last game. So from what I gather that according to this article, Washington Post, believe it if you want, per sources, not going to throw anybody under the bus, but it sounds like Miller and Bradley got the text message, where there's a group text message, it doesn't say, they bring the gun to Darius Miles is what they suspect. Okay. So, 2 starters, Alabama basketball, allowed to still playing. So they've played 2 games since this
Miles
news has
is
come
not is the only one not playing, correct?
Correct. Yes, because as of today, which is the 28th, February 28th, they have played in the last 2 games for
Alabama.
And
then Sunday's game, I'm pretty sure it was an entrance.
Entrance, yes.
Yes, it was an entrance ritual. I don't know what you want. I'm not coming up with the correct word.
Like when they introduce the basketball players onto the court, the starting 5.
They usually do a handshake or what have you of some sorts. And they decide that we're going to pat down Brandon Miller on the court. It took Nate Oates till today at 5:30 p.m., if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Was when I got the update for it.
Yep.
To apologize for said incident. How anybody involved can come up with this and not see how insensitive this is.
So I
just blatantly insensitive, blatantly idiotic. The entire any words you want to describe this as, and it's unbelievable to me. It takes you this long to apologize. One, that you do it. 2, that it takes you this long to apologize for something of this nature.
I just want to very quickly. Alabama.com. I'm on the website right now. I'm looking at it. Nate Oates has a press conference, and I just watched the quick video. He basically walks out. Not basically, he walks out, goes like this. They do the quick pat down on him, and he walks through.
That's absurd. That is absurd.
Nate Oates is claiming that they've done this all season.
Oh, have they?
Says the team has done the same routine prior to its first 27 games, says Oates. Claiming that they are mocking the
allegedly. We're not trying to get sued, Brett.
Don't call us. We'll call you. You don't call us. Brett. Sorry, Brett. Damn it. He's in my head. Pat. Where's Pat? Pat Mick, we'll call him, right?
Oh, God.
Pat Mick. So they're claiming that this is a mock to the TSA for patting down them on the flight.
Hey, somebody who was involved with bringing a gun and involving themselves in capital murder. You would think that still isn't funny. I would pat the kid down.
I don't understand. So if Nate Oates is here and he sees this happen all season, one, I'm shocked that they let this kid play.
Yeah. Both
kids. I am shocked that they let Miller and Bradley play.
Coach doesn't say anything. AD doesn't say anything. SEC, I don't even know what the SEC director, NCAA. Nobody bats an eye at this. Did nobody think that Alabama was actually going to allow this kid to play and just didn't do their due diligence in looking at this? Because I'm absolutely mind blown.
And again, I just want to say I'm not an expert coach by any means. I've coached varsity football. Not saying I am an expert by any means. But you have a situation where one of your players, albeit he's your star player, is in a thing where he may be involved in a murder of a 23-year-old woman. Hey, buddy, you're sitting till this gets started.
Right?
You're a freshman, so whether he comes back or goes pro doesn't matter. Not that it should matter anyway. But, what do you get out of letting this kid play? What is your goal out of it? It's not like you were robbing him from his basketball career. It is
he
not
very
like
clearly did that to himself.
Right, you're not like taking anything away. You're saying, hey, you are involved in an investigation to a murder.
Somebody died.
Somebody died. A 23-year-old woman died. How do you play him? I don't understand. Do you really need the NCAA playoff berth? Like, what are we doing? The March Madness berth?
Now this almost makes me think that I hope Alabama wins it, so everybody goes, "Hey, yeah, they had a fucking murderer on the team. Great, have a good championship."
This is like totally taint. Like whatever it is tainted. It is very clearly tainted. Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand what the. I don't know what you're getting out of this. I really don't know what you're getting out of this. And I don't know what to add other than how is this kid still playing, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any information for you other than that, but
there's a lot of people that fucked up.
There's so many players. It's just
the players involved, the coaches. Like I said, I'm the same list that I went through just before. But this makes everybody look bad. This makes the entire NCAA look bad.
I mean,
because, like you said, it was 2 games. There's the last 2 games that they've played in. There's nobody that has gone, hey, can we suspend him? Can we make him ineligible to play? If you don't have good grades, you cannot play basketball, mind you. If you kill somebody, it happens.
I get that they're number 2 in the country. Like, I get it. I don't understand. At what point do you take into consideration that somebody was murdered, perhaps with this man's gun? And again, nobody has come out and said, hey, they're innocent. It's just kind of like, hey, let the process happen. But until then, we are going to let them play basketball, do a pat-down routine. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't buy their excuse.
They should have let Henry Ruggs play.
Let me drink my prime while I let that sink in for a second.
I mean, at this point, if you're going to let Ray Lewis played. What the hell is his name? The tight end there played. Like,
I mean, shit, they let Ray Rice play until the video came out. Like,
I don't know. Like, this makes a mockery. And people wonder why there's a mockery of sports and there's a mockery of all these things. Here we go.
This is a prime example.
Here we go.
We had to talk about it. It is a big deal, and I don't know what the next step is because obviously they're still investigating it. I don't know what the next step is, but yeah.
They should have let Matt Ariza play. They should have just let everybody play.
Right.
Like,
we're both in agreement either way. This kid should not be playing.
Yeah, no.
Either one of them should not be playing. Put him on the bench. I would even tell him, hey, I don't want you around the team until we figure this out.
If they weren't in the top 25 contention in college,
they would be.
Because there was I can't think of the name of the school. I think it was in Arizona that they shut down the program because of hazing.
Oh yeah,
there was that big hazing case. There was the imprisonment. There was the false imprisonment. There was the kidnapping. There was the whatever else that they did to those kids and shut down the program completely. But guess what? They weren't SEC leader. They weren't number 2 in the country. They weren't.
Was it New Mexico State? Right.
Okay, yeah.
That's who it was. Yeah.
And it's like, so that's why that program got shut down. But now it's like, now we're a big deal, so we can't get shut down.
But what do we learn from this? Like, what do we? So, oh man, I don't want to be in like a guilty until proven innocent, but. I mean, like...
You can't have your name in the headlines for getting a person shot and played basketball.
I mean, if it's come out within a month, they're like, okay, this woman who was shot and killed, they got the gun from... They either got the gun or it got delivered or it was his gun through text message, and they were confident enough to put this out into the press. What are you teaching... But if you're good at basketball, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Like, is that where we're at?
It's these high-profile people... Which are, I mean, we've seen it throughout history. We're going to continue to see it throughout history.
I just at this point, I just want him to be like, hey, yeah, that's why he's still allowed to play, just because he's really good at basketball. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, just come out and say it, like at this point, because there's no reason these kids should be playing.
No, absolutely not.
So, all right, well, I'm done with this now. I'm upset.
Yeah.
So let's move on to college basketball. Do we have a new score? We're a couple of new scoring champs here. We got LeBron James.
Don't even stop. Goodbye to that.
Antoine Davis. Hopefully we're pronouncing it correctly.
Either Anton, I'm not really sure.
From the University of Detroit is going to be the all-time scoring leader in NCAA, passing Pete Maravich.
Yeah, how many points short is he? I just saw it. 26 points shy.
Yeah, so he's going to break the record.
He's averaging like 28 or 29 a game this year.
This is going to be tainted.
Yeah.
Because he got the extra year.
Well, not only that, I think Pete Maravich did it in like 80-something games. This kid's at like 100 and some teens or something, like almost 30 more games than...
Yeah, I'm just, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of surprised there's not more coverage on it because...
Yeah, right? Literally the only reason I know about it is Yahoo sent me an update about it, and I was like, oh, I didn't know anything about this.
Well, and it's worth noting because, he's played a lot of games,
Nothing for nothing. Like I said, he's averaging 28, 29 points a game. That's real good. But
that's real good.
It still should be noted that the only way that he would even come close to this is with the COVID year and everything.
Yeah, the COVID year. Yep. And I kind of looked up there. They projected him as an undrafted free agent going to the G League where he might get a shot. But
Pistol Pete was somewhere around there, right?
Yeah, Pistol. Yeah, 3,667 points in 83 games for Pistol Pete in college.
That's insane.
Absolutely insane. So I don't know. I think it should be getting more coverage because I didn't know. You brought it to my attention. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, I have not heard a single soul talk about it. Literally nothing. So
yeah, I guess it's still kind of news out of Birmingham, Alabama, right? Yeah. That's where he's from, so it's his hometown.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
But yeah, regardless, do yourself a favor, check it out. We will have a new NCAA.
Jay Billis wasn't even talking about this, by the way. Jay Billis, goodbye.
Jay, goodbye. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Dickie V, nobody. Goodbye.
But yeah, but it's worth noting. LeBron James got the record. This kid's getting the record.
Kind of cool.
Kind of cool.
The same year.
Yeah. What the hell are the chances of that?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, good on that guy. Good on that guy. And like I said, I hope he goes to the G League and maybe sell some tickets there. That'd be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, him and Mac McClung or whatever the hell that guy's.
McClung, yeah. Right? I know. We didn't even really talk about him. No. Maybe we did a little bit, but I think he made as much in the dunk contest as he made in his G League career, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So let's stick with basketball. And this actually might be a good segue to this with NBA load management, because we were going to talk about it last week and it kind of skipped away from us.
Yeah, your dad and Eric kind of fucking
they kind of
disrupted us.
Yeah, they screwed up our thing. But yeah, with all the injuries that have happened, like last night, LaMelo Ball fractured right ankle non-contact.
Non-contact, yeah. Oh,
that was
my
rough.
God.
That was kind of rough to watch because he just kind of dropped down,
crossover, right?
There, crossover. He was just he was trying to make. But LeBron James ankle injury looks like he's going to be out for a little while. Kevin Durant finally coming back.
Yep.
Now, a lot of players have come out anti-load management. A lot of players have come out in support of load management.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really particularly know where to draw the line because you've got Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards comes out and he says, "Hey, play, just play." Mm-hmm. Granted, he's only a second year player, whatever, but he's played, I think, every game of his career thus far. If not,
he might be a third year. Doesn't matter. I think he was drafted the same year as Wiseman, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he might have been
second, third year doesn't matter.
But I'm pretty sure he's played in legitimately every available game.
I'm actually going to look it up.
That he's not been injured reserve. I'm pretty sure he's played in every single game that he was. At least this year, every single active game he's been there. But then you got the likes of Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley saying, "Hey, you're making 30, 40, 70, 80 million dollars, whatever. You got to be out there on the court and play."
Yep.
But then I hear JJ Redick and Stephen A were discussing it one day, and JJ says, it's kind of a interesting topic for him because he said, you eliminating the back-to-backs, you're eliminating the 3 out of 4s, the 5 out of 7s, everything like that. But he brought up a good point by saying that by doing so, you don't allow those 3-4 day breaks from basketball. You've got your 1 day, and then you're back to 1-2 games. You get your 1 day, you're back to 1 or 2 games again. Which, I don't know. I can understand where he was speaking very passionately about it because he was saying, as he advanced in his career and as he became the vet that he ended up being, kind of just traveled around whatever team was taking him at the time. He said it was harder to play through injuries. which I absolutely can understand because obviously your body just doesn't heal the same way. You're re-injuring injuries that you've had in the past, anything like that. So I honestly don't really know where I stand on the issue of it. But whether it's a shortened season, whether it's shorter games, I don't know. Like, you can't allow these people who... I'm assuming most of these people that go to the games don't have the money the luxury to be able to be spending on these games multiple times a season. And when they go to a game, they want to see their guy. And when you go to the game and it's out for whatever reason, and it's load if they specifically say, sometimes they even specifically say load management or anything like that, how disappointing is that got to be? And you're not going to know this until 45 minutes before the game, everything like that. Like, that's got to be absolutely heartbreaking. This kid wants to go see Steph Curry. Steph Curry, obviously, probably the biggest player in basketball right now. I bet you he puts the most asses in seats, everything like that. You go to the game, Steph Curry's out with load management. And it's like... there's got to be a solution for it.
Right, and it's just to pick it off right now. So, right, like Steph Curry's number 2 in jersey sales. Like LeBron is number 1. Giannis, Tatum, Luka, Durant, Trae Young. So there's a lot of information here to unfold. So these guys make a lot of money. A lot of money. And that is something that you need to take into consideration when you're talking about this, because they make money based on ratings. They make money based on owners paying them money and everything like
Ticket
that. Ticket sales. In a normal job, you can call in sick. You get so many of them before you know. Now,
that actually brings me to Charles Barkley said. He goes, yeah, there's a lot of people that work in the mines and in the mills and everything like that. He goes, I'm sure they're tired, but they show up to work every day.
Right. And Michael Jordan talked about it. Kobe Bryant talks about it. There's a lot of players. Anthony Edwards talked about it. And you just touched on it. All these players, hey, some kid saved up money to watch Kobe Bryant play basketball.
So Kobe was playing.
Do we shorten the seasons? Kawhi Leonard's a big load management guy.
Do you want to know who I think kind of kicked this off? And I can't remember. I think it was Barkley that said something about it. It was the Warriors. The Warriors were the one that kind of, if I'm not mistaken, were the ones that were like, hey, we're going to sit you down for a little while. Get your break.
I mean, I remember... and I'm trying to think of, unless the guy was coming off injury, Kawhi Leonard was like a big guy. I remember when he was like, hey, you know what, I'm not playing back-to-backs. Hey, I'm not doing this. Hey, I'm not doing this. And you kind of are like, wow, he's your best player or whatever. I think the problem with the NBA is you look at the ratings. I think the easiest thing to do, especially in sports, because we're going to talk about baseball later too. You have to follow the ratings. The NBA ratings have kind of been going steadily down.
Yeah.
It's not hard to find. Type in NBA, go to Google, type in ratings, go to finals ratings, game ratings, whatever. So the NBA players want to get paid more, which is fine. Everybody wants to get paid more. I'll never knock anybody for wanting to get paid more. They want to get paid more. They want to play less games. You shorten the season. I mean, at the end of the day, too, who's going to watch a game on a random Friday night? Oh, LeBron's not playing. Why are you going to watch?
Yeah.
Oh, Steph Curry's not playing. Why are you going to watch? All of a sudden, you're shooting yourself in the foot for the greater impact of the game. And it's easy for me to say because I'm not an NBA player, but I can't imagine wanting to sit out a game first. Your teammates out there, I can't imagine if you play sports at any sort of level, you know what, I'm gonna sit this one out. That's just a weird concept to me to begin with.
But this goes to the thing that I've always said, that basketball is the number one sport that I think of anytime I hear of got my contract.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's baseball. I don't really see it happening quite as much. Football, I don't really see it happening quite as much. Hockey, those guys are out there all the fucking time and they don't care.
Oh yeah, hockey. I think you've got to be a different breed to play hockey.
Yeah,
but that's neither here nor there for that.
But there's a lot of these guys. you see them as they're coming up. They play real well. They get their money, kind of start to slide. Yep. Contract year, play real well again, get your money, and it's like there's got to be a better way. Like, and what I just thought about this as you were discussing all that. What do you go? You go Halloween to like June.
Halloween to June, so you get about 8 months, 8 months ish.
All right, so we'll
maybe
say
7 months. 7 months because June's only if you make the finals.
Yes,
so most players are 6.5, 7 months ish.
And we're having a hard time fitting 80 games in 6 months. That's got to be like something's got to be up there. No,
I don't hate that.
That's 180 days. Like, and we're having a hard time fitting 80 games into 180 days. That doesn't seem.
I guess at this point, like if you're, I don't want to say you have to save basketball because basketball is there. It's like one of the big three. I kind of knocked hockey out of my big four, but you got to be careful. The NBA, the league in general, has to be careful because, again, you watch the NBA dunk contest. It used to be one of the most exciting all-star things in history. Now no one cares because you can't even get an NBA player to do it. The NBA just keeps going down, and the guys' salaries are absolutely absurd, like making $40-50 million a year.
Like nothing for nothing, the MLB All-Star game this year was the highest rated All-Star game, whether it be the Pro Bowl game, whether it's the NBA All-Star weekend, that was the highest rated game of the All-Star of the major 3 All-Star games.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think if you're healthy, you should play. I think it's a disservice.
Obviously, healthy's a
relative term. I mean,
But I can't imagine being anything less than like a 70% and going out there and playing. I don't understand it.
I think Kobe, the guy saved it. The fans are what makes the game. Like you could be the best basketball player in the world. If nobody wants to pay to see you play basketball, what difference does it make? Like it's really driven by ratings, driven by attendance. I don't know how you can do that to the fans. I mean, especially if you're a star. I mean, it's aimed at star players because the star players are the ones that are going to see. Because
nobody's going to see Derrick White.
Exactly.
If you are, God bless you.
My friend and family of Derrick White. don't sue us. You're going to have that. But I don't know. And LeBron James is older, but at the same time, okay,
he's kind of one where I can start to understand it a little bit, but still, it's like
right. I mean, can you imagine you're a kid and you want to watch the Joker play center, and you save up your money? And he's like, sorry, kids, I'm sitting this one out. Like this guy's already making he's made $270 million contract. He has just fucking play. Just play. Again, that's easy for me to say because I am not out there, but hey, if I was good enough, I would love to do that. And if the coaches say, hey, Adam, you good to go? I'm on the court. I'm not trying to sit out or something,
not.
but that was, I know it's been a big deal, and I think it's going to continue to be a big deal. And I think it's hard too because in my mind, the NBA would shorten the season. Like the 70 games seems like that would be the 70, maybe 70 to 73, 74 games, somewhere around there, to cut out whatever. Because I think teams average like 5 or 6 back-to-backs, whatever. Take those games out. But then the owners who are paying you the $250 million now might lose on their 4 or 5 home games, lose on the 4 or 5 advertisement, lose on the 4 or 5. Maybe that's a lot of money. Maybe it's not. It's hard to say because you have 41 home games. You cut out 5 or 6 home games,
But
I don't know.
Nothing for nothing. I know baseball is not as grueling of a sport as NBA is. It's a middle of the road.
Yeah,
I would say when it comes to contact and things like that. But baseball, I'm pretty sure Francisco Lindor, one of the best shortstops in baseball, one of the biggest names in baseball. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he played in 158 of 162 games last year. Nothing for nothing, and you're doing that in 9 months. You're doing double the games in almost the same time frame as basketball. Come on.
But I'm not gonna be like, oh, which sport's harder than which sport or whatever. But at the end of the day, too, play. If you're healthy, play.
Yeah.
If you're a star player and you're that worried,
there's baseball players. It's like, oh, this guy's not running real well today. He's still out there. He's not going to dig it out on a ground ball to third, but he's still out there. He's still a presence. He's still
And I think if you're doing... I don't know. It's just very bitter for me because I remember being a kid and going to games and being a kid and it was like, I couldn't imagine how disappointed I would be if I got to a stadium and like, hey, I'm here to see Steph Curry play. And he's like, sorry, kid, I already made my $300 million. I'm sitting this one out. Like that'd be a lot for me, you know? And it's, I guess at the end of the day, it's their decision. Maybe it's up to the owners to be. But I mean, at the same time, too, Charles Barkley did talk about this. He's like, at some point, the owners are going to start not giving out these contracts. At some point, the owners are going to be like, hey, you keep missing games, you're doing your load management. I mean, if you're not a top-tier, top 10 player in the league and you're doing your load management, you might not get your money. Like, your players right now are like, Kyrie Irving, I'm done. I want out of Brooklyn. There's nothing wrong with me, but you know what? You're not going to give me my money. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
After you put that whole team together to get Kyrie, and that's like same thing. Kevin Durant. Hey, this is where I want to go. I don't want to go anywhere else. Trade me here. Trade me this. Do this. At some point,
I think that's going to ruin the NBA.
Because
personally,
could you imagine going to a job being like, "This is what I want," and like, "Yeah, you know what? You already paid me, and you're guaranteed to pay me. Fuck you."
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what it is. Yeah. Is it not? Like,
and nothing for nothing. Like, actually, hold on. I might have just lost the
no,
whole
that's
thought
okay.
that I was going to have.
That's okay. And I just want to quickly, if you want to, let's just go to baseball real quick because baseball is in a similar situation, not for load management, but they're trying to get more viewers. They have their new rules. Because we could probably harp on how much we hate the basketball contracts, whatever. Well, let's new rules in baseball.
I don't know. I'm not.
I have a couple things.
I sat here and watched the spring training game. It was the Mets and the Red Sox, I think it was. Yeah. And I was like, okay. I guess I don't hate the pitch clock quite as much as I thought I was going to until it actually matters, until it's affecting the game. Then I'm going to hate it. But, like, the thing I love about baseball, a lot of these sports, you can run out the clock, you can stand there, you can stall time, whatever. Baseball, you can't do that. You still got to throw that pitch. Because if you don't throw that pitch, guess what? The game's just not going to end. And that's what I love about baseball. Every other game, I feel like you're almost playing checkers. Yes, there's an element of strategy in all these other games. Baseball is strictly strategy. You're going hitter-batter matchups. You're going all this other stuff. I like the 3-batter limit for relief pitchers. I wasn't really a fan of it because it started to take the strategy element out of the game. It's not disrupting it quite as much as I had anticipated. But now you got this, like, Craig Kimbrell. Craig Kimbrell's out there. He's got the crow arm out.
He's got the crow arm up there.
He's taken 45 seconds to throw a pitch. And nothing for nothing, you got these catchers. They're going through all these signs. They got whether it's your little pad button thing here, or it's you're actually giving them the signs. There's so many options for pitches. So you're telling me if it takes him 25 seconds to find a pitch, now this pitcher's got to hustle and just hurl the ball at the plate? I don't get it. Like,
and
I don't understand. Like, why?
I think it's tough because they talk about how from basically the 1980s-ish to now that the games have went from about 2.5 hours to about almost 3.5 hours now, or 3 hours and 20 minutes, whatever.
If you wanted limiting the pickoffs, it doesn't really bother me as much. Sure. I can kind of understand because there's times where it'd be pick off.
Right.
Like I can understand that a little bit more. The pitch clock, I don't get it. And especially, you're going to penalize these players with strikes and all this other stuff. If the batter doesn't get in, if the pitcher doesn't throw. Like, what are we doing?
One of the games ended where bases loaded, 3-2 count. Batter was walking up, took too long, but he thought the pitcher was taking too long. They called the strike, game's over.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't go to extra innings of spring training, but you're getting into...
Like, if anything like that happened in a regular season game, legitimate... full count, and 2 outs, bases. The stadium would erupt.
And I think a part of it too is baseball. It's so hard because there's so many factors that are outside of the actual game. Because these games are taking about an hour longer than they normally take. since the 80s.
Yeah, there's also longer commercial breaks. There's also...
That's what I was going to get into. You have the commercial breaks. Now you have stuff in between innings to keep the fans entertained. So it's an experience when you go to the baseball field. You have to make sure you have your TV timeouts. You have all of the stuff that is added on that's kind of outside of the game of baseball to create more revenue for the players and for the teams and whatever. And again, baseball's another one where they're worried about their ratings. They're sure, like baseball, basketball, it's not like football. The ratings are there. Obviously, they're there. But and now it's like you're changing the game. And part of me, I have a couple different feelings about this because in the NFL, they'll change rules. Basketball, we've seen it time and time again. They change rules all the time to try to help scoring, help whatever, to try to get things going. So, and my initial thought was, why am I offended that baseball is trying to change the rules to get the fans more into it, get more whatever? But the thing that drives me nuts, and this is kind of like where I think hockey went the other way, and this is why they're not on a major broadcast TV or whatever like that. Their big thing was, hey, at the start of overtime, we're done with 5 versus 5. We're doing 3 versus 3. We're going to a shootout to make the game more exciting. Well, after a while, people only cared if it went to overtime or to shootouts because they're like, oh, it's way more exciting. There's more goals, there's more action, whatever. But then now it's like, oh, well, now people aren't going to watch the first two periods. Maybe they watch the third one. I don't know. But now it's not even like trying to watch a hockey game now is you got to have the 6th app of the Hulu and then you get the ESPN Plus.
Baseball's also starting to have that issue too because I mean. Nothing for nothing. It's not that hard, people. You get the MLB app, and you get pretty much any fucking game that you want.
Right.
But all these games are still getting blacked out on all these local networks. If you got the ESPN app, forget about it. Again, VPN, you avoid all of that. But still, like you get the shot clock on mound meetings now. I understood when you wanted to limit the mound meetings and you wanted to limit all the coaches, pitching coach meetings. You got a shot clock on mound meetings. What if this pitcher has no idea what the fuck is going on and the catcher's got to convey something? 25 seconds is what you're giving this catcher to try to convey to the pitcher, hey, we're going here, we're going here, we're going here, we're going here. Have a good one.
I mean,
and go back behind home plate.
Again, I just don't know.
That takes the strategy out of baseball.
You're changing the game quite significantly in this case. This is not a insignificant change. This is a very significant change for baseball. And I've been watching a couple of the games of spring training, and maybe this is part of me because I never watched it, so maybe this is getting me to watch. But I'm watching it and I'm like, man, I don't know, because it's like so much focus is on the timer and the clock, and it's just I just don't know.
Baseball,
like what's gonna happen when we get deep into the season and you lose 2 or 3 games because of Aaron Judge took too long to get in there. Like the first one was Manny Machado. He kind of was a half a second late getting in. They called a strike on him, and it's like, oh man, like now you're gonna start. Now it's like whoever gets ready fastest, and it's again not that I have a problem, but like in football, like. Can you imagine, like, hey, we're going to shorten the play clock to 15 seconds, and it's like, they'd be like, yeah, we're not playing. Like, so, I mean, but at the same time, too, basketball used to be you had 10 seconds to get it across half court. Now it's 8. It just speeds the game up.
Yeah, no, I understand all that, but still, like, the amount of time wasting you can do in football, in baseball, in soccer, hockey's a little different, too, but, like, baseball was the one sport where you still had to play.
Yeah,
you couldn't
and right now too, and like they banned the chef.
Whatever, fine. I guess if you're gonna do that, fine. Like whatever.
I'm just right now with the new rules.
The pitch clock is what is getting me, and I didn't realize it, but Manfred, what? I think it was 2013 when Manfred got put in there.
I could look it up quick.
It was somewhere around that time frame. It might have been 11, but apparently they pulled up an old press conference that he had, and this is exactly what he said. He wanted to ban the shift. He wanted to pitch clocks. He wanted all this stuff. But, like, I just don't like why. The pitch clock...
Apparently he's from Rome, New York.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Actually, Senator Griffo, I had him for one of my classes. He said he knew Manfred quite well.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Right down the road from us. About 10, 15 miles.
But, like, I just...
Yeah.
The pitch clock is what's getting me. Bigger bases, fine. You're shortening the distance between the bases by what, 3 feet, if that. Like
you're the big goal is there's gonna be more stolen bases, more whatever.
No, but that's not what I'm even worried about. You got less chance of people stepping on people's ankles and things like that.
Allegedly, that's why they did that. I don't know.
No, that's fine. Like I can understand that. That's fine. You're not going to get more people to steal bases because it's 6 inches closer together. Like I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. As of right now, though, how do you feel about the rules? Because right now it's kind of frustrating for me to watch baseball. Again, it's spring training, but I'm watching it, and it's like these guys, and maybe a lot's going to help once they stop getting penalized for these new rules. But it's hard. Like you're like, oh well, there you go. There's a strike. Oh, there was a guy that he was down 0-2. Pitcher took too long. 1-2. Pitcher took too long. 2-2. So it's like, okay, well now all of a sudden, every advantage that he had, he was up 0-2. Now it's 2-2. The guy ended up working a walk. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I can get behind this quite yet.
The shot clock stuff is everything else I'm kind of all right with because there's the shift. You're still there's still different ways you can get around the shift. You can pull fielders a different position and leave your outfield wide open and things like that. So if you want to still play that strategy game, go for it.
You can still kind of figure it out. Yeah.
But the shot clock on the pitchers, the shot clock on the batters, the shot clock on the mound visits. This is too much. It's
a lot.
And if you wanted to do it, we're doing 20 seconds, and the pitcher gets a new ball. There was the one case, the pitcher got the new ball, umped and reset the shot clock, strike. And it's
or ball, or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's are you kidding me? Like, what? This pitcher's getting a brand new ball, he's rubbing it in the dirt, he's fucking scuffing it up, and it's like...
And maybe, I don't know. Let's wait, I'm going to wait and see. I'm not optimistic right now.
No, I'm not feeling great about it. This is my favorite sport of all time. Is baseball.
I know it's your favorite sport.
And this is what we're coming to right now.
I talk about all the time where I was big into baseball as a kid, and then I kind of fell out of it. And you and your brother got me back into it, and I've been really following it the last 2-3 years. But then now it's just I'm watching it, and I'm just like, oh my god.
I'm gonna have agita.
Please, And it's just, and I'm getting stressed out about stuff that has nothing to do with the game. And that's what's getting me. Is it's like. Oh, well, he fouled the ball. Maybe he got a little thing on his hand, and it's like, okay, well, all right, let me get a second. Get back in the up strike. You're just like, wait, what the hell's going on? So
the game has been played this way for, 140 years? Now we're worried about, hey, don't put so many commercials. Do that.
And
if you really care about the game, that's what you would do. But they won't do that because then they're not going to make their money in the commercials.
And my thought too is once it gets into summer thing and the guys are sweating a little bit and the guy's throwing a lot of pitches. Now all of a sudden he's got the pitch clock.
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
how much more torque is that going to put on pitchers' arms that they can't take a minute break in between pitches? You're going to have so many more Tommy John injuries. You're going to have more rotator cuff injuries.
Yeah,
pitching is already as unhealthy as it can be for the body to begin with.
Yeah.
So now you're going to have these guys fucking working out there, and you're in Florida. It's 100 degrees.
We'll pick anywhere. Yeah.
Tampa's got the roof, but Miami. You're in Miami. It's 90 degrees. It's 95% humidity, and this guy's getting 15 seconds with runners on base to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
Let's end it there because we have some football to go to.
But I actually wanted to
jump
right to my load management thing. I remember what I was going to say. I had to look it up real quick.
Nope, you're good.
Barkley's also claimed, he's like, yeah, they have all the greatest medical staff, the greatest medical science of all time.
They do.
And now you're still getting this. You could figure it out.
Yeah. No, that's fair, and it's just, I think basketball, baseball right now is going to be interesting because, wow, it's going to get interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to get interesting. Football. Absolutely. We have a lot of things. We might have to rapid fire this football here. Let's start real quick. Derrick Carr, another visit with the Jets. Another visit with the Saints coming up. Phone call visit with Carolina. Where do we feel about Derrick Carr?
Honestly,
do we think he ends up with the Jets?
I still think he's the Jet.
I still think he's going to end up with the Jet. Doesn't have to be the first guy to sign, he says. I think that's going to hurt him.
Yeah.
It sounds like he has his price tag of where he wants to be, which leads me to believe that the Saints and the Jets have given him somewhat of an offer, or at least where they are.
He's at least thinking about it.
But it's kind of, I thought it was going to be a done deal with the Saints. Then the Jets popped up. I thought it was going to be a done deal there. Now he's visiting Carolina. But Carolina from everywhere is like, hey, man, we need a quarterback. We're taking a quarterback. I don't know if Derek Carr is the right fit there. Saints and Jets, there's no backup option. So I think that's a better fit. Speaking of, because we threw him out there, it's Titans general manager. Tannehill's our guy. Thought that was a little wild because I wasn't sure he was going to be on the team. Because they could have saved about, I think, around $30 million if they cut him. It looks like they're keeping him, which
is wild to me.
This is...
He did not produce last year.
I hate to say it, too. This is probably the last year of Derrick Henry's prime.
Yeah.
Because not that he played bad last year, because he did play well last year, but he kind of... It's no more... You can't give him the ball 30 times a game anymore. I think those days are done. So this is kind of the last... This is probably his last big year, unless he is an absolute freak and he doesn't care about...
There's also a lot of people who are saying the Titans are going to trade him.
Henry? There's
some chatter out there about Titans getting traded.
We might as well talk about it right now. Buffalo Bills was on Twitter that they traded for Derrick Henry. That was the thing. It wasn't official by any means. Everyone's sources confirmed Henry to the Bills, Henry to the Bills, Henry to the Bills.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I didn't see it anywhere. It was on Twitter. Twitter's been pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Again, we will see. But who are you? Malik Willis did not look like the guy.
No.
But I thought it was a little surprising today that the Titans general manager said, "Hey, we're keeping Tannehill. Goodbye." I guess he's going to stay with the Titans. I don't know if Henry's there, though. I think Henry's... Then there's smoke, there's fire, and it certainly sounds like he's getting traded.
Does this GM not realize what happened to the last GM? Just fucking, goodbye. I don't know. That's what I'd be worried about at this point.
Yeah. Let's just keep it rolling. Like I said, we're going to do rapid fire here. Miami Dolphins uncommitted to Tua's 5th-year option. Now, they have, I believe, until May 1st. Is it May 1st? Yes. The May 1st deadline to give him a $23.2 million guarantee. So this is year 4. If you pick it up, you're on the hook for year 5 no matter what.
Yep.
Full guarantee. You have to get a team to take money, whatever. You could kind of make it work. They did it with Baker Mayfield where the Browns said, hey, we'll pay for 5. Or we'll pay for 25, Carolina, you pay for 5, or however it worked out. How do you say that? How do you come out and say that? I'm sure somebody asked him, but I think there's a reason to be concerned there.
Yeah,
there's a big reason to be concerned there.
Especially after the entire year, it wasn't an issue, it wasn't an issue.
You have no first-round pick.
No, but Tua didn't have 6 concussions or whatever. He only had the 2. And now you're going to come out and be like, I don't know.
Kind of.
Guy's brain scrambled. Oh, well, This is what we've been saying all along, and you denied the entire thing.
Yeah.
That's a lot for me.
Yeah.
That makes me believe that what the general fan was seeing was more correct than what these medical professionals
are reporting.
Yeah. Because allegedly he only had the 2.
There's no way you could watch that. Allegedly, Brett. Easy. Don't sue me.
Easy.
Don't sue me, Brett. If you do, I'm hanging it up on the wall. It's going to be on the pod. It's going to be on our podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. They came out, talked about it today. A lot of general managers came out today to talk about things. Now because you have the pro days and everything, they're a lot more open. But yeah, I don't know.
That's scary to me. Tua might legitimately be not the same person if this continue. If one or two more times continue.
And let's be honest. So Miami is, again, a lot of this is funny money, but Miami is $16 million over the cap right now. And next year they're, if you put $25 million to Tua, all of a sudden you don't got a whole lot of money. Mm-hmm. So, and that's not considering what they're going to pull in 2023 and then the picks for 2024.
And you got to pay Waddle here soon.
You really don't have a lot of stuff.
You got to pay Waddle soon.
Waddle's going to get a big time extension, so it's definitely worth considering.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what you do with Tua. I don't think you could pick it up.
I don't think I could take the risk on him.
You can't. Absolutely not. Sorry, Tua. If I'm like, hey, I'm not picking it up. Stay healthy this year.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, you're in the same position. Do you owe more money? Yeah, maybe. But are you still going to give him a long-term contract after this? I don't. But
I can't. Franchise tag him.
Let's just keep going with the quarterbacks real quick. We'll see if we got time for the other thing I want to talk about. Keep going to the quarterbacks. Geno Smith. Talks are going good. But they've said, hey, if one of those quarterbacks are around number 5.
Which I can understand though. I could see them running it with Geno for this year. Bring him back on a 1 year and
because both sides, the GM, Geno Smith says, looks like we're going to get a deal done. I wonder if they have a deal done already, and that basically they are saying...
They told Geno, hey, listen, we're going to make people believe we're taking a quarterback, whatever.
But I mean, also, too, hey, we might take a quarterback. All of a sudden, the Raiders, the Falcons, and Carolina's like, hang on, we got to get up to 4. We got to get up to 3. And, and that might be part of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, anybody's playing all the games that they can at this point.
But again, too... Talked about him, Anthony Richardson. He's there at 5. Do you take him and let him sit for a year or two behind Geno? That actually might be the ideal situation for him.
Absolutely.
Maybe. I don't know, but I thought that was, again, Seahawks said, hey, we might draft a quarterback. I mean, a lot of this is
I think Geno would be a great quarterback to sit behind personally.
Right, I mean, this is a lot smoke and mirrors now, too, because there was the talk that the Chicago Bears might take a quarterback, and now they said, okay, we're trading the pick. But it's all of a sudden now, if you're one of the teams behind them, do you trade up and, maybe the Seahawks want Anderson or Carter. There's a lot of defensive guys that are going to slide in this draft because everyone's going to trade up and take quarterback. So
yeah, everybody's going to panic on the quarterback, which rightfully so, but there's going to be a lot of defensive guys sliding.
So, yeah, I mean, I think Geno Smith's a Seahawk, and I think they get it done, but...
Yep.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we have some minutes left now. Let's talk about your boy. We did pretty good here. We made it through 51 minutes of podcast before we talked about him.
Yeah.
Brian Gutekunst, your boy. I'll say he's your boy.
Yeah, he can get fucked.
I know he's not your boy, but he's your boy. Comes out today. Jordan Love could start this year. I fully believe him to be a great starting quarterback.
You want to know where you're hearing that from?
Wait, hang on, wait. Oh, you were asking about Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, he's pretty good too.
As he's been doing for his entire GM career in Green Bay. That's pretty much all he's been saying about Aaron Rodgers. And the only people that say Jordan Love is a good quarterback are anybody inside the Green Bay camp and Jim Irsay. I think the kid's going to fucking stink. I'm sorry.
Well,
I have no faith in him. Negative faith, maybe.
Again, I think at that point it doesn't. I'm going to say at this point it doesn't matter.
No, I mean...
From what we've gathered from today, from Gutekunst, as you call him.
Yeah, Bakhtiari's he's restructuring and staying with the team. We heard that.
We're all restructuring, but it definitely sounds like...
They could give a fuck about what Rodgers
They're saying, hey, we have little to no interaction with Aaron Rodgers. Like, Aaron Rodgers is his own thing. We have no interaction with him. Like, wow. Shouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Again, we talked about this like 3-4 weeks ago. We've been talking about it since the offseason. And I was like, at what point is this just too much of baggage? Earlier today, you were like, oh my God, I'm actually getting sick of talking about it. This is your team. This is your guy.
People are making it an issue. Guess what? It's not like he's not gonna talk to the team, but we don't need to talk about him 7 days a week and the fact that he hasn't talked to the team because we know Aaron Rodgers is gonna talk with the team. Let him be. Just let it be. It'll happen, and we'll see what happens from there. There's no point in speculating because nobody can understand what Aaron Rodgers is thinking or saying. Nobody.
He basically came out and said, hey, there's a soft deadline of March 15th is what the general manager said because that's the start of free agency. So obviously you need to know if the $50 million he's owed is going to happen or not going to happen.
Trying to push him though, I feel like would only make him delay it further because I cannot see Aaron Rodgers having a good relationship with the guy who tried to draft his replacement, and Aaron Rodgers then said, "Get fucked," and went and won 2 MVPs.
And he said also today, that they've had a few text message exchanges about whatever. Again, at this point,
let the guy be.
At this point, and another thing that he brought up today was, hey, since I've gotten here, we knew it's year to year with Aaron Rodgers.
It wasn't.
Sounds like that's a lot of red flags going up. I know they kind of were like, after the loss to the 49ers, they got blown out. Rodgers like, I need some time to think about what the hell is going on here. And then they drafted Love, and
That's when it was year to year because
all of a sudden it's like what
Rodgers was never year to year before they decided to go fucking pick Jordan Love. After, mind you, he was on the Pat McAfee show 8 minutes beforehand. He's like, "Oh yeah, I think they're gonna get a receiver."
Yeah.
And people wonder why the guy hates Brian Gutekunst.
I mean,
thank you.
At this point, do they just trade him? I'm at the point now where if I'm a I shouldn't say that. Because if I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, your best chance of winning Super Bowl is the Aaron Rodgers. Yes. So, trading him is not your best bet for 2023 season.
I don't think it's the best bet for 2024.
If you're the general man, well, regardless, what is the point of this? At this point, what is the point of this? It's this: the general manager keeps coming out and is like, yeah, Rodgers, I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If this guy is causing you this much problems, like if Aaron Rodgers is this difficult to deal with, just fucking trade him. Just trade him. But his teammates are like, no, we want Rodgers.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is like, hey, give me time, we'll figure it out. It certainly hasn't sounded like he's getting. I don't know.
If Rodgers isn't worried about it, nobody else should be.
I mean, it's just, again, it's.
I did like LaFleur when they first hired him. I think the first year or so he was good. I think he's fucking terrible now because he's sticking with his buddy Joel Berry, defensive coordinator, who we saw cannot coach a fucking defense.
No, absolutely.
And his play calls are all getting stale. They're all getting. He's doing against the Lions on a 4th and 3. He's trying to do a fucking end around play. You've got A.J. Dillon. Turn around, fucking hand the ball.
You have A.J. Dillon. You have Aaron Rodgers. You have Aaron Jones. Pick whoever the hell you want to pick there.
I think his play call is getting stale. I think he doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to coaching. He's kind of reminding me a lot of the current Dallas Cowboy coach, and I can't fucking stand that guy.
It's just, I don't know.
He was supposed to be this guru, and we couldn't find a way to get the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands or run the damn ball. You came from Tennessee, for God's sakes. You had Derrick Henry and Deion Lewis, and guess what? You pounded the ball down everybody's throats.
And really, when they turned their season around, they decided, hey, we're committing heavily to the run, and it worked.
And that was with a questionably healthy Aaron Jones,
right?
And they were still making it work,
right? Yeah,
Christ, what are you doing? It's not. It doesn't seem that difficult.
And also, he also said that Love definitely needs to play. That's quoted. Brett, don't sue me. That's the next step in his progression. That is what he said today. Which now to me, in my mind, they're trading him. I think he's done.
One of them's getting traded.
I think
it doesn't.
I think Rodgers is getting traded. I don't know. I mean, at this point, if you're Aaron Rodgers, why do you even go back to the Green Bay? Be like, you know what? You want to trade me to the Raiders? Have fun with Jordan Love. Have fun with life.
Because that's. I guarantee. I'm more or less thinking they tell him. They meet in whatever day it is, whatever time it is, and they talk about what the next step is. If Rodgers says he wants to play and he wants to come back, and they go, yeah, well, we don't really want you, and Rodgers goes, all right, here's my fucking jersey. Have a good one.
That's really...
I'm retiring. I'm done.
To me, that's really what...
Because I wouldn't even give them the satisfaction to be able to trade me.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't.
Man... I don't know
the amount of times that they fuck that guy, I would just tell him, here.
You could also just not say anything.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, if Aaron Rodgers is here, he's our starter.
Yeah.
If he's coming back, he's the starter. That ends it. Done conversation. Yeah. Hey, do you think Jordan Love's ready? I absolutely think he's ready. He's going to be a great quarterback for us in the future. Mm-hmm. Leave it at that. If Jordan Love wants to come out and say, hey, trade me if I'm not the starter, then that's
his problem.
Like, I don't know why.
Gutekunst likes a taste of his foot, I think. And just shoves his foot straight in his mouth.
Like, what do you get out of this?
Anytime he gets up on a mic, he embarrasses himself.
We have a minute left. Couple more things. Bengals, please stop calling us. Get your own wide receiver. We're keeping T. Higgins.
Yep.
I love that move.
Oh, absolutely.
But do they pay T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow in the future?
I think they make it. I think they.
You think they make it work? Because I think they'll get rid of Mixon. I think
Mixon and Boyd are both done.
I think they will get rid of any tight end, any running back, any third receiver. Yeah, Boyd's gone. Like whenever they have to pay him, he's gone. I think they make it work. I don't think there's a reason to go around it. I mean, you're going to spend a lot of money on 2 receivers, but you have to.
Absolutely.
Do we care? Leonard Fournette requested released. Gets caught.
Stinks. Goodbye.
quick last one. We were talking about rules earlier. We have 20 seconds here.
Mm-hmm.
NFL wants to look into banning the Eagles pushing Jalen Hurts. What are we doing?
You're worried about 3 yards.
You're worried about 3 yards. You're going to do whatever play Jalen Hurts in the last 2 years. Goodbye.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's it. That's all we got.
Yep.
Oh, NFL, stop watering your field. Groundskeeper Willie doesn't have to care for that.
Yeah, especially in the Super Bowl. Let's not try the experimental grass.
Absolutely not. Yep. Goodbye. All right. Look, we did good.
Yeah.
End of the podcast. End of so.
Just for that.
Goodbye.
Bid you adieu.
Goodbye.